was like, yeah, being called racist probably is like the worst thing you could call an American.
I can think of another 6-letter word that might be a little bit worse.
I'll tell you this right now. I've been called something way worse.
I was about to say, let's go down the list of 6-letter words that are bad to call people. There's the F one.
Yep.
There's the R one.
Yep.
And there's the N one.
You got a few 5-letter words.
And I didn't even say racist yet.
That was the R word. What are you talking about?
Oh,
It was a joke, Miles. Jesus.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I got ice in my veins. Walk like a champion, champion, champion. I'm so cold-blooded, I fear nobody. Ain't no letting down, I won't let you down. 'Cause I got ice in my veins. I talk like a champion, like a champion. I'm so cold-blooded, I'm so cold-blooded. I fear nobody, I fear nobody. I walk like a champion.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 62 of the Saratobi Sports Pod. It's me, John, a.k.a. Celine Dijon, a.k.a. Eugenis Haslam, and we got a new one, courtesy of the demon of Deacon Time himself, John Artest. You know, I was going to say something else, and then I just saw JT's face of disappointment, and I was like, you know what? Forget it. I was going to, make a Ron Artest comment, but it is what it is. Anyway, I got my guys with me. I already mentioned them, Deacon of Demon Time, the Vice President of the Knicks, Mr. Worldwide West.
In the building, in the flesh, all I do is make a mess. How's it going, everybody? I hope y'all doing good things, staying safe out here on these streets.
And to my left, Mr. Just a Friend JT, just on his damn phone, just in transition.
Just in thought.
There we go. And then, actually, all of those are for me, which is funny. There's another one?
Oh, just another one? Okay.
There was a 5th one, but damn. You gave me all of them, John. You should remember.
I gave you so many, I forgot.
Boo.
He made you. He birthed you.
It's now time.
Without me, there would be no you.
Wow.
Just in training.
I'm loving all these awkward silences, by the way.
I just don't know,
I was trying to come up with the train one. On the spot. I was thinking
training was the only thing I could come up with, but that doesn't make sense.
You're all doing fantastic.
Just in train sim.
You're all doing fantastic.
Just in the cockpit.
Yo.
Do they call it that on trains?
I don't know.
They do not call it. No, they do not. They call it the cab.
Only you would know that.
Oh, God.
Well, do you guys know that? I mean, you guys know the plane. It's called a cockpit, right? Do you not?
How you doing? How you doing, Justin?
I was doing well until now. You guys got my blood pressure all up.
Yeah,
you got my blood pressure up like how Jason Whitlock's is every single day of his life.
Yeah, you sure that's not the the fried chicken and collard greens, the soul food, the mac and cheese, and all those other things that you like to eat?
The black community has a history of high blood pressure.
Are you trying to expose to the people that I have gout? Because you, sir, are right.
Wow, you heard it here first, guys.
JT
Justin,
had gout.
Justin,
bro, I'd be dumb sick.
JT just sipping on cranberry juice. So we just look over. He's like, he's got his shoe off and shit. Like,
which sucks because I love cranberry juice.
The gout. Wow.
Remember when Julius on Everybody Hates Chris had the gout?
Yeah, he was tight.
And
I think it's funny. The only people I know who have gout are white.
Nah, I know everybody who I know has gout is black. My grandfather, I didn't even know he had the gout until recently. Like, this is just weird shit.
It's either the gout or the sugar.
Yeah, the sugar. Yeah, man. It's weird. But eat safely, you guys.
Yeah.
Think about your futures when you're eating.
Yes. Right. Don't blow your life away. And speaking of blowing things away. Do I want to start with baseball?
Yes, because once we finish with baseball, we don't have to talk about it again.
Yes.
But really quick before we do baseball, last person on the pod, Saratobi Soundman, Matt, because John clearly forgot about you.
I didn't start the podcast now, did I?
Guess you did.
I didn't know.
You started the pod.
Do we finish the intro segment?
Yes, because Miles was literally just about to.
So who said it, me or Miles?
It doesn't matter. You should have taken control.
I think we should all just be accountable in introducing the Saratobi Sound, Matt.
Sarah told me sound Matt.
Sound Matt. How you doing, Matt?
What's up, guys?
to the far. I still think I think
the
it was
far
my
right.
first the first episode that I did the far right, but not that far.
Sound
That
mat
was
just
hilarious.
sound mat just makes me sound like some kind of gimmicky
Like a
like
tool.
floor mat that
Yeah,
you
like
step
a
on
floor
and it
mat.
makes a
Ooh.
noise.
And we don't step on.
sound
We
mat,
don't step
floor
over
mat.
Matt.
No, we don't
except
step
for
over
John.
That's the new name of the studio. The sound mat.
Sound Matt.
The sound mat.
The sound mat. Ooh,
Well, yeah,
like,
you know.
like the laundry mat, but the,
Laundromat?
but the sound mat.
Fun fact:
Johnson,
we
you would
we
have
started episode 62 on the 62nd minute of recording. So
Wow. Wow. A,
good luck or something. I don't
a
know.
palindrome for today's,
Palindrome.
Isn't it palindrome?
You know what, Justin?
Mm,
Can we start the show?
I don't know. Can we?
May we? Surely. One day. 67 minutes into the
At the
show.
162nd.
We can, and
minute.
don't ever call me Shirley.
No, I said surely, like surely, not Shirley, like not like
God,
the
that
verb.
was the whole joke.
Like shore leave.
Yeah.
Surely.
I don't think he was joking. I honestly don't think he was joking.
Where's that?
He wasn't
reference from?
joking.
Who?
when he said Shirley, you don't think he was joking.
He was not joking.
Wait, what? What are you talking
He
about?
exactly. See, I'm telling you, he wasn't. He doesn't even know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about?
What are you guys?
You said don't call me Shirley.
Yes.
He thought you were serious.
He
That-
was.
That's
That was the joke.
That's the joke.
That's what I'm saying.
That is
who's
the joke.
serious. Who's serious?
This is too
You thought
much.
you think I thought Miles actually called me the name Shirley?
No,
So
I think Miles thinks.
Miles understands the joke though. I would hope.
The
Yo.
Yankees lost.
Honestly,
Damn you, Matt!
I was honestly about to say, yo,
I gotta go.
I'm just all for starting over because this is just like we just all over the place right now.
It's controlled chaos.
Yes.
Is it controlled?
Explosion!
Holy shit!
Damn it! I hit the wrong button. I
Yo.
wanted the explosion thing. Yeah, we're gonna have to start this shit over.
Yes. Please. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just getting started over. 'Cause we clearly
No, I'm keeping all of this.
we clearly didn't get it out of our system.
There it is. There it is.
We're in too deep. We can't start over now.
That's fine.
That's what he said.
That's fine.
That's what they said on Blacked.
Oh,
Wow.
oh.
Speaking of black, so we can actually transition into something.
Damn, you know what I just realized? Really
No. I'm gonna get my thought off. I'm gonna get my thought off. Fuck you.
No, I want to know what you're gonna say now. But speaking of black,
No, I was just gonna say, yo, shout out my boy Blackway for debuting his new song Heavyweight on Good Morning Football and real life. Friend of the pod, he does our intro and our outro for real, and he's gonna be on here soon, so that's very important.
when he comes here, I need to talk about how you introed that in by saying speaking of black.
I know.
But yeah, shout out to Black for being on Good Morning Football.
Yes.
That was dope. I love that show.
Yes.
From Keith's living room.
Yeah, yes, literally from Keith's living room, yo.
Love to see it, man.
That's dope. And Keith has been here before, so yo,
Facts,
listen,
man.
we actually know important people, yo. I'm telling you, y'all gotta keep tuning in. Justin, would you like to get your thought off now? I'm sorry, I cut you.
I was just thinking about an Instagram picture I took way back in college. I think it was junior year, where I had this shirt that said "White girl is a hard addiction to break," and I was just surrounded by a bunch of white girls. It's on my Instagram. I should probably take it down. I'm not.
I should probably take it down. I need to see
Not
it.
yet, you won't.
I need to see the facts because it's gonna be in this week's video.
Not before I screenshot it.
It's not because this part's getting cut out. Are you kidding
What are
me?
you talking about?
Huh?
They said white girls matter too.
Like at that point, I thought white leg. Maybe white lives do matter.
Amen.
I forget who. They're all
We're
all
off
Tyler's
the
friends too.
Not JT shirtless.
I mean, those
We'll
are good
get there.
pictures.
We'll
though.
get there.
My son JT.
So they're all Tyler's friends.
I'm pretty sure they're all Tyler's friends. Yeah. I mean, I know I was cool with them too, but
White bitches, white bitches.
When there's a blizzard outside and snowing inside, ... multiple dots. Yes, there's a snow bunny white girl reference. That's wild.
yeah, I was a wild boy for having that shirt. Honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty OD.
This is a train
This is
wreck.
great. Yeah.
And
and
would
you're
know
the
something
conductor.
about that.
JT had to get a train reference in here
Wow.
somehow.
Wow.
Wow.
The word of the day should be blacked.
I'm actually gonna change it so that way we can start over.
No, we're not
No.
starting over.
So we're keeping that whole intro and all the shenanigans.
Almost all of it.
All right, fine.
Almost.
All right, so let's get into it. All right, baseball, the baseballs. So yeah, the Yankees. Last time we talked to the folks, the Yankees were still in the playoffs. Now they're out of the playoffs. Boy, what a difference a week can make.
Understatement
Yeah.
of the year.
And with that comes another Yankees offseason where they should have been in the World Series, and they're not. And honestly, I think we can all agree that the blame of the series falls down to that crucial and controversial Game 2 decision when Aaron Boone took out Davy Garcia and replaced him with a one J Happ, and the rest is
Treesh.
history.
Yeah.
J Happ put Adam Ottavino in the game. Adam Ottavino should not see a lick of playoff time.
It was Ottavino and wasn't it Loizaga?
Loizaga that gave up a run. Loizaga, Ottavino each gave up a run. J Happ gave up two home runs. Two-run home runs. Sorry, that was a little bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, in 2-0, the 2/3 inning of work.
And Gary shouldn't have been in the game.
All right. So my problem with the
understand,
series, my problem with the series obviously was Game 2, but I was telling the guys earlier that I just feel like we lost to the better team, and I will say that while the Yankees bats were hot, were streaking throughout the beginning of the playoffs and into the regular playoffs, it really comes down to pitching, and I think that like what Kevin Cash said. You know, he got a stable full of guys that can throw 98 plus, and he put that on display. We had opportunity after opportunity to tack on runs and add runs, and even Game 5, we had opportunities to win the game, but it just comes down to depth, and he uses guys very well. I mean, I won't go as far as saying that their offense is better, but as a team, defensively, like, yeah. I mean, it's tough to come to terms with because we definitely could have stole this series, and that's kind of what I would have thought of it if we had won. But yeah, it's tough to come to terms with because I think the Rays are going to end up winning the World Series. So yeah,
I mean, their bullpen was great, but I think part of the issues, and I feel like we've had this a lot this year, was issues with like us not bringing people on base.
Yeah.
Like we're getting walks, we're getting people on base, and then we just can't drive runs in now unless it's a home run.
Yep.
So I think that's one of the things, and it was just disappointing. Like there's questionable decisions across, like not leaving Davey in, but it doesn't come down to just that game or just that one decision. It's a combination of all of that, and it's like just even in the last game, like bringing Chapman in for longer. I get it. You know, it's the elimination game. Everyone's bringing in their relievers a little bit early to try and finish it, especially because that game was 1-1 for most of it.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like between the mess that was Game 2, which we still had an opportunity to win.
Yeah,
Multiple
we
opportunities.
really did have.
That's
an opportunity to win
and
Game
that's
2.
the craziest part. Yeah.
I mean, it's like we wasted a monster game from Giancarlo.
Yeah.
We wasted. I mean, Giancarlo had a good. Aside from Game 5, Giancarlo
He had a
played
great
literally
playoffs.
lived up to his contract
Mhm.
every single game of the series.
Yeah.
And sorry, I just want to try that. It's also like that, but the pitching stuff. Mike Ford coming in Game 5, that was stupid. You can't argue for that. You're not making an argument for that. It's like I understand playing Gary in Game 2 because it's still just Game 2. But the way Higgy's been swinging and he's a better defensive, like taking him out. I don't know, man. It was there was a lot, and it just it made me very frustrated. Like obviously we're frustrated because they lost, but just knowing that like even though we could say we weren't supposed to win, we definitely had every opportunity to win that series.
I don't know. I think they were supposed to win. On paper, it's a better team. Going into the series, the Yankees were still favored. Vegas had them as the betting favorites going in. I think there was only one game that the Rays were favored in.
And I think that was the first
Game
game.
one?
No, Game 2. It was Game 2.
It was either I think it was the Davy Garcia game.
It was the Davy
but it
Garcia
wasn't
game,
even
right.
by a lot. I think it was like plus 106 or something like that. So
Yeah.
it wasn't even
The
like
line
that.
basically was even. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, playoffs
So-
is about pitching to me.
But that's the thing, right? So I think it was that Game 2 or Game 3. First of all, the strike zone that
CB
Buckner.
Buckner
is
needs
hard.
to never call a playoff series again.
He's
Like-
Scott Foster to the shit.
Yes.
No, he's Angel Hernandez to the shit. Like, it's ridiculous. So, see, you don't want to blame, just like you don't want to blame a game on the refs. in basketball or the officials in football.
Yep.
You can't blame game 2. Like, a lot of the onus goes on to the Yankees and, the decision to bring in Hap, right? But at the same time, there were a lot of very, very questionable calls against the Yankees hitters in that game. And I think the one that really stands out to me was the
Gleyber Torres one?
Not the Gleyber Torres one, but actually I should say 2, right? Actually, sorry, not game 2, game 3, when Tanaka was pitching. The missed strike him out, throw him out when they called ball 4.
Oh man, that was and then that ended up turning into a 3-run home run.
Turned into a 3-run home run, which ended up being, kind of the difference in the game. And then later on in that game, in the exact same spot, the called strike 1 on
I know what you're talking
Luke
about.
Voit with the bases loaded, which would have walked in a run when who was pitching? Not it wasn't Charlie Morton, was it?
Was it Fairbanks?
It was somebody. No, it was somebody. They still had their starter in because it was still like a 2 or 3 run
So
game.
it had to have been. It was either Charlie. I think it was Charlie.
Morton was
Morton.
game 4.
So then was it Glass now in game 3?
Yeah.
So I think it might have been Glass now.
Nah, Glass not pitching.
Or was it game 2?
If it was Glass not pitching game 2, so I think the game that you're referring to is game 3.
So I know the starter was in game 3 when Luke Voit came up with the bases loaded.
So it was game 3 against Charlie Morton.
Yeah, he would have if Voit gets the call, that's the same call that the Rays guy gets in like I think 2 or 3 innings prior.
Yeah.
Walks in a run, inning continues, and it might have had a different ball game. All right. Like I said, don't want to put the blame on the umpiring, but it was very questionable. I think they did like the umpire StatCast, and it said in that game the calls cost the Yankees like 1.0 something runs.
Yeah,
which I know they lost by 2, but still, it's
that's
the
a momentum difference.
It's a momentum changing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's a very disappointing series. And yeah, like
very disappointing end to the season again.
Yeah, and that's
the
it's
same
so
way.
much,
Deja vu.
Yeah,
right.
It's kind of it's just not really sitting well with me that 2 seasons in a row it ends with Chapman on the mound, who is the highest paid relief pitcher I believe in baseball right now. And aside from that, this team has so many question marks going forward. I mean, yes, we know we have our ace. Garrett Cole came out in game 5 and he did exactly what he was.
Lived up to every 330 mil.
330
every penny. He is worth every penny.
Every dime, and he's lived up to that this season. Stanton, I think that's a plus because we saw what he can do when he gets hot.
I'm very happy for Sam because he put to bed any doubts of any Yankee fan, which is he has since he's been here the last 3 years.
Yeah,
he has had everybody's come at Sam because he can't stay on the field.
I've been riding for my son Mike. I've had to defend him at every opportunity. I've defended him multiple times on this podcast,
but
he did it. He showed up.
Four straight games with the home run, or 5?
5.
Mm-hmm. 5 straight games with the home run. So he was not the problem. You can't even if you want to look at problems with the team. He was not the problem. Mm-hmm. He was one that actually kept the Yankees in a lot of these games.
Yeah,
yes. Especially in game 2, he almost single-handedly won the game.
Bro. Yep,
I would have been so tight if I was sitting here like I have every RBI. I can't get no help. He was Jacob deGrom to this shit.
Hey man. I will say, like, here's also another tough reality of the Yankee fans, right? And I can kind of understand wanting to keep Didi over Gleyber because Gleyber's fielding
it's not good. It's
was
not
a liability
in
this series.
Yeah.
He also just had he had a slumping season all year though. It wasn't like just because he had when he was playing shortstop last year, he looked great.
He did
outside of his bat, but it's like this year, it's like he never got into a rhythm. He was the first, he was hurt. You know what I mean? And they were saying that's why they feel like same thing Susan was talking about. At this point, you're 60 games into a regular season. This is usually when you're in rhythm. And they were like, now they feel like he's actually healthy from all the injuries before, and that's why he was hitting a bit better. But yeah, I agree. Like it is his fielding, but I think it's difficult when it's like you're not playing consistently. But I don't know. I feel like you've made this point on this podcast about not keeping Didi because it's like how much we have paid him to essentially be a backup.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, the rest of the infield did so well that it's hard to take any one of them out. You don't want that bat out of the lineup.
I think Gio
had a couple mistakes.
He didn't have a great series. But it's like I'll live with that because I know because Gio made so many other great plays. Mm-hmm. I think it was like the double play. I forget which game it was, but he had this one double play where he charged it. Or ranged to like his right, like what it should have easily been down the line for a double. Ended up getting the double play. I'm like, see that's what we need. Yeah. That's exactly why you can't have Andujar there
Yes.
You know?
And I think Gio being as great of a defensive third baseman as he is
you just don't expect mistakes from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think what this team needs is more timely hitting.
Yes.
More, and I think that
outside of DJ LeMay,
outside of DJ, because you know when DJ comes to bat with two people on, you know he's gonna get a hit or a walk or something positive to at least move the runners over. I think the plate discipline definitely has been better. We saw that because we got a lot of walks in like quietly, but we have gotten a lot of walks. I'm saying through with Judge, Glaber, even Stan.
Yeah, Hicks was getting on a lot.
I think
Hicks
that's the
was
thing.
getting on a lot.
I feel like Hicks had a down year hitting.
Yeah.
But he had his
on base percentage was
because
great.
He was getting a lot of walks. So I feel like if he has even just a normal year for him, he's hitting a bit more. Like his hitting just wasn't there this year. It was just he was getting on base mostly just from walks. So I feel like that plays into it too. That's another person who you expect to just get a hit or something and be on base.
And remember, he was also coming back from injury too.
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean it's a lot of question marks because we got Hap, who's a free agent. You got Paxton, that's a free agent. You have LeMahieu, that's a free agent, and there's somebody else that's a free agent. It's blanking him. Tanaka, that's a free agent. So
and Gardy too, right?
Gardner is also well. He has an option, and the way that his option works is that if we decline his option, he gets like a some form of compensation from it. But if we pick it up, then he gets like $7.5 million or something like that.
I'm just I feel like this is one of the things where it's like it would have been really nice to have Severino again. Even though Monty did pitch a good game,
he pitched
great.
And
fantastic
I
game.
will say this:
Fantastic
I
game.
thought the series was going to end Game 4, but Jordan Montgomery he went out, and after a very rough third inning, where he got the bases loaded, and then he had two runners with one out, and he found a way to only turn one run out of that. He showed he was great.
He pitched great. So like shout out to him, but. Again, injuries to the bullpen, like to the pitching rotation this time, because we don't have Severino, we don't have Paxton. Those are pitchers that could have pitched that game too.
And then the
also,
bullpen,
yeah, exactly.
Tommy Kahnle.
That's
I think
my
Tommy
guy,
Kahnle was
man.
probably like it was glaring that they were missing Tommy.
Exactly.
Kahnle.
That's your like. He'll give you some length. He's fucking great. He's an energy guy too.
Yeah.
Like I love me some. Yeah, y'all know I love me some Tommy Kahnle, but it's like he was definitely missing here. And one of the things about the bullpen is you've been talking about it all year about how Chapman has looked kind of shaky all year.
Yes.
And it's like we understand he's being paid to be this closer, but it might. If you said it too, it's like you kind of wish that we did the Kevin Cash thing of just kind of like. Yo, who's got it today? You know what I mean?
And that's what
Britton's had it for most of the year.
And he's had, and I will say that in every save situation this season, Britton hasn't folded. And it's tough because 2 days in a row, you ask Chapman, go out there. All right, well, I just need you to get outs. You know what I'm saying? Don't need you to close the game, but I need you to get outs.
Multiple innings too.
I'm about to say,
that was questionable. Bringing him in the 7th.
I don't like that at all.
That was because you expect him to get 7 outs.
Not necessarily even 7, but the problem is that it's a 1-1 game, and
did he bank on the Yankees scoring?
I think he could have left Britton in longer.
And honestly, I agree with that.
I thought he was going to leave. I think if you put him in the 8th, like okay, I understand. Even though it was it was the last out of the 7th. I think you can leave Britton in for if not the beginning of the 8th, maybe like a half of it or almost the whole thing, depending on how he's pitching.
I thought he was going to leave. I thought he was going to. Maybe it's the wrong decision because his pitch count was up there, but I thought he could have left Cole.
He could have left Cole.
I think
he was thinking of the next series
because
you know what?
You can't think of the next series though.
No, I agree with you. You can't, but I think that's what he was doing.
But the thing is that Garrett Cole literally almost gave up a home run that would have made the game 2-1 at that point in the game, and then that's when he took him out because he was getting hit the inning prior. He wasn't really getting strikeouts, and he was already 5 1/3 through, and was basically at 100 pitches.
He was at like 94 when
I
he came out.
feel you, but like low key, like I want to give him another batter because that's what you pay him for. And we saw it the other night, getting the people on base and going 99 and then 100 to get that strikeout after and make up for it because this is testing your metal.
I feel like
this is testing your metal, bro.
When he went upstairs.
Yeah, 99 and then 100.
Yeah,
like that's testing him. And the thing about Garrett Cole, which I like, is he wants that. He wants that moment.
He's not
we
afraid.
saw it earlier this season when he was mad at Boone for taking him out in the game. Like he wants to pitch the big inning.
And that's what you want to see in your ace. But I think going into next season, what we have to do, definitely we have to keep left-handed pitching on the team. So y'all gonna be mad at me for saying this. I think Paxton gets paid. I think Paxton stays a Yankee. Hap is
Stays
gone.
Yankees or gets paid.
I think-
Two different things.
Okay, I think he stays a Yankee.
Okay.
I think Hap is gone. I think Tanaka's a wild card for me, but at this point,
Tanaka.
But I feel the exact opposite. And it's like, I get it. It's the what have you done for me lately? But this postseason, Tanaka was not it.
He's basically in the CC Sabathia range now.
When
CC was in his last years with the Yankees, this is where Tanaka is.
At this point, I was thinking in my head, like, all right, well, if Tanaka want like 20 a year, all right, you can give it to him. But now, after this postseason, it's like, why are we paying you that much?
You're supposed to 20 a year. What is he, like 34, 35?
33.
I thought he's like 32.
He's that young?
He's not.
I thought he'd been around for a while.
It always feels like that with the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean,
Shout out to fucking, was Greg Bird?
He was born in 88, so he's actually 31. So he's still
he I don't know why.
He's getting paid $22 million a year right now. So he's probably gonna want at least
if
about
you have
the same
him as your
more.
third or fourth, I'm not mad at that.
I don't know.
But then I don't even know if he'd be your fourth, because you figure Severino comes. You probably go.
You need
Cole 1, Severino 2, and hey, who knows? They might have Davey go 3 or Monty go 3. Then you go, but you like you said, you need left-handed.
It comes down to who's
left-handed
consistent,
pitching, right?
Isn't Kane a starter too? They want him to be a starter.
Michael King? Or are you talking about
Kane. That's the name, right?
The Kane guy.
The
I
young
know.
one.
I know.
He came up with Davey, the white guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
He was supposed to be a starter.
I know you're talking about Clark Schmidt.
There you go.
Clark Schmidt.
So if you're like Miles said, if you need your left-handed pitching, right? Cole righty, right? Severino righty. What is I always forget. What's Davey?
Davy's right-handed.
Davey right-handed. So that's 3 right there. Monty left. So that's 4 right there. Are you keeping Tanox as your 5th? And if you keep Tanox as your 5th, that means what? James Paxton's going?
I think Yankee fans would rather keep Tanaka. I think the overwhelming majority is gonna say keep Tanaka, but I think Tanaka's gonna be too expensive. That's why I'm saying Paxton. To me, I'd rather keep Paxton.
Also, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think another thing, and I've seen it from like other Yankees accounts and stuff, is I could see Tanaka taking less money to stay with the Yankees because it seems like he genuinely enjoys being with
If
the
he
Yankees.
takes less money, I wouldn't mind it.
He genuinely enjoys being with the Yankees and like the culture and like likes the Yankee and like Yankees like him back.
Mm-hmm.
Like he actually has mad personality and you see it in all his interviews and media stuff too. So like he I can see him being like, all right, like I'll like less money and really push for a championship.
So it's like, so if they bring back Tanox, they don't bring back Paxton.
I don't care about Paxton, dog. All right, here we go. We can go into your the question you asked us earlier.
All right. Well, I was going to say really quick, does that mean that's just yet another failure by this front office?
Yes.
So how many more, how many hits have we? That's a failure. If we brought in Paxton and Hap, and then 2 years later,
I think Paxton has been.
Well, I think
that
the Hap trade at the time made sense because at the time Hap was good. He was.
It wasn't the trade; it was the re-signing.
Oh, the re-signing.
The re-signing.
Yeah.
It was that, and just Paxton just didn't really do anything for us.
Hindsight is really crazy
it's crazy
because you look back and you're like, wow, like the Red Sox were really amazing that year, and Paxton was really. I mean, not Paxton. Hap was really great at the time
when we traded,
which makes sense why we re-signed him. That's why it's just like, damn, like if we knew what we knew now, obviously.
Yeah. But there it goes. The re-signing was a failure.
You're always GMs are always based off of the results of the things, not So it's like
it's so many, and I hate and not even just you. Sorry to cut you off again,
right.
But like it's just the fact that like I feel like Yankee fans are very critical of Cashman and very critical of Boone right now.
New York fans in general.
Well, I mean, dog. Every game, like Yankees Twitter is like it's gross because every little thing that happens, it's Boone's fault. And like, yes, the manager has to do like we all agree. Game 2 on Boone in the front and the next team.
I don't think that came from Boone though.
Well, the analytics team.
Yes.
Boone has to sign off on it.
Yeah.
That decision is
he
his.
has to put the lineup card in.
That decision is his at the end of the day.
It's his, but it's still organizational shit. But go ahead, continue.
But then it's like, when do you put blame on the players? We already know people blame Gary, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, the manager puts you, just like in any sport, the coach and manager puts you in positions to perform.
Exactly.
If you don't perform, what else can happen? Like in Game 5, the only person that performed on offense was Aaron Judge. He hit a home run. Everything else after that is, all right, what are you guys doing?
Mm-hmm. All right.
So it's easy to, so it's like it's easy to criticize like the Mike Ford thing, which he should be criticized for, but it should never, if the team is doing what they're supposed to do, it should never have come down to that.
I understand.
So
that.
with players not performing, let's go into your question from before we started.
All right. So basically the question is, if you could take off 3 Yankees from this current team to not have on the team for next year, who would it be and why? So I'll go last.
All right.
John, you can go first.
J-Hap. Why? Look, what do you mean why? Have you not watched the game? That's why. Fuck his. Listen, I give credit where credit is due. He had a good end to the season. That didn't really mean anything. Adam Ottavino. Y'all know how I feel about him. I've been calling out his fraudulent behavior since last year. Fuck Adam Ottavino. It's like he had a couple good months, and that was what everyone was judging him on. And even during those good months, whenever I watched him, he didn't do shit. So he can go. I do not want to see him in pinstripes. Even his demeanor on the mound, he looks like he's coming out to give up runs. Like the amount of blown leads, I do not want to see him near a Yankee uniform. And I want to trade Chapman. I'm tired of this showing, like even him coming back, he got super awk and he's throwing hard, and I feel like Britton was a better closer this year. And we know Britton would be a closer on any other team pretty much. I just think Chapman is not our answer, and this is the second year in a row where it was his home run given up. And that's not always on him. You got to give some credit to the batter, but my thing is you can't keep throwing the same pitch in the same spot and expecting the batter to not catch up at some point. And that's what happened at the end of this game. So those are my 3. And I think that because of that, we can get some return. Like, trading for Chapman turned into Clinton Glaber, didn't it?
Trading Chapman did turn into
Glaber.
Clint.
I'm not sure
Chapman.
About Clint.
Chapman. Oh no, I lied. I'm sorry. Chapman was to the Indians. Chapman was to the Cubs. That was Glaber. Andrew Miller was to the Indians. That was Clint Frazier.
Was that also Gio?
Yes.
No, not at the time. No, because because Gio was a free agent. He was with the Blue Jays, and then the Blue Jays.
So we got Gio. No,
we didn't get.
Gio was also with Cleveland too.
He was with Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then he was released, and then he was with Toronto, and then I believe he got released again, and then we ended up getting him for like, I don't know, whatever the fuck we paid him for. Gio not making no money right now.
But anyway, yeah. So those are my 3. I still think we can get a return for Chapman because he is still that name and he still throws hard. But I just don't think he's the answer for us. I really don't. I would rather just have that. And honestly, and this is gonna sound a little wild, I would have preferred keeping David Robinson, even though he wanted to be a closer, have him as a setup and have Britton as our closer. But we still had Chapman signed anyway. But I don't think Chapman's our answer. It's either get another closer or have like Britton slide into the role, or kind of do what Kevin Cash does and have multiple people who can close. And whoever's got it, that's who you put out. So I think we trade Chapman. We can get some good shit for him. And those are my 3.
Okay. I hate to say it because he's one of my favorite players. My number 1 has to be Gary.
Yeah, if we had 4.
If you have 4, that would be his 4th. I have to say Gary, and it's not even because of the potential of what we of what he is. It's just been the defense, and I've defended him mad times. Mad coaches. I've said it a lot through the years, but at the same time, how much longer can we bank on potential? You know what I'm saying? Like, for all I'm saying, because I know for a fact
you let the Knick fan go.
Well, hey man, listen. I know for a fact he probably will be a Yankee next year. But at the same time, I just don't know what we would get back for him in a trade. And it's just the level of inconsistency. Like, I get it. A 60-game stretch shouldn't really... This year is a weird year in general because you literally have a Triple Crown winner, and then you have, a dude that usually hits above 200, that hits 150.
Tanked his value this season.
Yes. And that's the problem because I don't know what return we get, which is why I believe that he will be a Yankee next season. However, if something or a good package does come about, I mean, I'm not against him going as a Yankee. My second one is John's first one, J-Hap, for obvious reasons. I mean, he's old. He's 37. He's not good anymore. And my third one, and I was wavering about it because because of what was going on in the playoffs and like kind of just how he's been during the regular season is Tanaka. Because I think what's going to happen is that his price is going to be too high. And I'm realizing now that for a right-handed pitcher that everybody says is a big game pitcher, he folded bad, and I get it. Like, you can't just base it off of like what is happening now. But in general, like, we have too many righties. Look at the young dudes we have coming up. We have David Garcia, who's already not a power pitcher. Tanaka's also not a power pitcher. You know what I'm saying? You got Herman that's going to come back next season from the suspended list. That's two right-handers.
I don't know. We might have to get rid of the wife beaters off our team.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Then you got Garrett Cole, also a right-handed pitcher. Like, at what point do we realize that we have to have a balanced lineup? We can't literally have all right-handed people on the team. It's baseball. Like, I think Tanaka is gonna want to get paid. He's gonna want to be a Yankee too. And if we could get him for a decent price, I'm not mad with having him on the staff. But at the same time, I just think that we overvalue like what Masahiro Tanaka actually is. And I think at best he's a third starter in this league. So, and I think he's proven that this postseason.
All right. Dang, I totally forgot about Domingo too. And you know what? It's crazy. Because just to harp on your Tanaka point really quick, it's like, in that game, he wasn't even playing. I thought he pitched pretty decently.
It wasn't terrible.
It was just that the missed strike him out, throw him out that the ump took from us, and then he ends up giving up the 3-run homer later on in the inning.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that was the difference in the game. But other than that, he had gone like 3 innings prior shutout at like 4 or 5.
Yeah,
shutouts.
I really don't think he's pitched that bad. I literally think the one thing has been that like one homer.
But it was, to Miles's point, I do agree.
Yeah, he hasn't been.
He is at
Tanaka.
best right now. He's not prime Tanaka, and at best, he's a third starter on a team.
Yes.
So my 3, I'm going with the obvious one. At least y'all know. Chapman needs to go. You got to get the woman beaters off our team. Need to get him out of here. We got 2 years left on his deal. I think he's got $16 million next year, and $18 million the year after that. So it's going to be quite a contract to move. I made this tweet on Friday after he gave up the home run that the Cubs won the trade, which they did. Because we got Glaber, but so what? They got a World Series. So yeah, there's that. My second one, Gary Sanchez has to go. It stinks, and I did make the point on the pod where earlier that the Yankees might not want to get rid of him because of the potential they see in him. They don't want him to chef on a different team. And I think the perfect example of that, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, Travis d'Arnaud on the Braves.
Yes.
The Mets let him. Hey,
the Mets and the Rays.
And yes, he wasn't contributing like that for the Mets, but at the same time, the Mets bought him out. Like, they didn't even trade him. They bought out his contract, all right? And he has been arguably the best player for the Braves in this throughout these playoffs.
It says a lot when you got a team that has Ronald Acuna, Ozzy Albies, and the other dude. I forgot. Ozuna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So, Gary, we love him, the Kraken, yes, but batting under 200 for the entire year is unacceptable. Yes, it's an unforeseen 60-game season. We get it. But even in the playoffs, it was still the same Gary swinging at the same junk. He can't he just... I made the point when in game 1, when Cole was pitching, there was like 3 pitches in that game where if Gary was behind the plate, he would have let that ball get past, runners probably advance and or score.
Yeah.
You can't pay or have a catcher where your best pitcher that you're paying $330 million to can't pitch to him. You can't do that. If he can pay, having him on the team would be a liability. So it sucks to say, but you're gonna have to probably go with Higashioka for the time being.
And I don't even know if it sucks to say because he's shown promise. Even when he was just getting called up randomly here and there, he would always somehow get a big hit in those couple games.
A lot of Yankee fans complain about how this team always tries to buy their way to championships and don't develop the farm. Well, we're kind of seeing a development here with Higashioka. And yes, Gary came up through the system as well,
and he had good years.
But it's looking like a dud right now. So he's going to. And the last one, I'll agree with you guys too. J Happ needs to go. I toyed on this with either Gardner or Happ. Gardy came through.
He's got to be our 4th outfielder
in the playoffs, so it's good to keep him around. You need the veteran presence, but yeah, Happ's got to go. You can't complain about getting your innings taken from you and then go out there and not perform. He had us in the first half a little bit because his first 2 batters he struck out, and then the wheels started to fall off. He had us fooled. So, yeah, you can't. That's just it's a miss by the Yankees front office. But hey, it happens in sports. But yeah, just looking forward to next year.
You guys. Yeah, no, I've been saying it about Gary, man, but he's got to get traded. I think Chapman's got to get traded. The only thing is Gary has to have at least one hot streak to build some value back up, so we don't get nothing. But I think he's on for free agent after next year. It's either next year or 2 years.
But I think it kind of makes this playoffs maybe made it a little bit easier for the Yankees front office because remember you kind of have to decide between paying Judge, Gary, and Glaber.
And
Gary did not help his case at all.
DJ is a free agent.
DJ's a free agent, but you figure you could probably bring him back on like a 3 or 4 year for like maybe 42 mil, 44 mil, something like that. But Stanton's living up to his contract. Judge, I know you're critical about Judge this playoffs, but he just
still hit 3 home runs in the playoffs.
He did enough to warrant keeping him.
Yeah. Well, enough, my thing is he's supposed to be a superstar and he hasn't played like it. The home runs are great and all, but he was not just as much as he hit home runs. He also hit everything else and got on base and did other stuff. Yeah,
he had too many double plays. I'll tell you, like too many ground balls to the right.
If it's not a homer, then it's like he's not doing anything, and that's been my issue. It's like for him, he's one of the faces of the league. And has not played like it.
Shit, the face of the league, which is kind of crazy to say.
Yeah, he hasn't played like it.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. I love Aaron Judge. I just want to actually see him play well. It's like everything has been downhill since his rookie year. Not downhill in a complete, but if you compare it to his rookie year,
the first key is staying healthy because I swear, like when he was healthy at the beginning of this season, he was playing like the MVP. And I still will say, if he never got hurt and he continued playing the way that he was playing, he would have won AL MVP. My last Yankees point. The only thing that not the only thing, but the main thing that needs to happen going into next season is that whatever money DJ LeMahieu wants, he gets.
Yep.
I just want to say, like, DJ LeMahieu has probably been the most critical part of the Yankees' success throughout the past 2 years.
Yep.
And success is relative because for us, not winning a World Series is considered unsuccessful. But to the casual to a Mets fan would kill to be in our position. We're bitching about, how we lost in the ALDS.
They had the chance to sign DJ too in that offseason.
And
everyone did.
And everybody did. And we got him for $12 million for $24 million for 2 seasons. Which is it's crazy to think. And he wasn't even supposed to be an everyday infielder. He was supposed to be a rotation piece.
And he won the batting title again.
No, he didn't win it the first year. He lost it the first year.
This year
he won it.
I'm saying in general.
And he's the first person in both leagues to win the batting title, which is...
Because remember, they tried to play it off like, he's playing in Colorado and the ball travels. The air is different out there, so of course he's going to, hit well, which everybody does hit well in Colorado. Comes to Yankee Stadium. Well, all right. Well, I'm just going to do this shit all over again.
It's muggy as shit in New York.
Yeah, nasty. Shout out to DJ. He deserved it. I don't care.
Shout out to Gio.
Shout out to Gio. But yes, DJ is the one player that we absolutely have to re-sign. That is the one thing that I want Cashman to do this offseason is to re-sign David John.
And I need Gary, and I need Andujar to build some value to get traded. I need Clint Frazier to be our starting left fielder next season. Like Gardy, that's great, but he's not our long-term answer. And the only way Clint Frazier is going to get better is by actually getting to play. So,
I do.
Gardy's got to be our fourth outfielder, and hopefully a full recovery year from Hicks. Will be good.
And a full recovery and a healthy year from Aaron Judge too.
And Stan. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Enough about baseball. We definitely spent a lot longer than I anticipated, but it was a good conversation. And yeah, that's pretty much it from us over here at Regrown Recordings as always. Remember to follow us at Saratobi Sports on Instagram and Twitter. Like us on Facebook if you guys are still on Facebook. And make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And follow me at Affinity on Twitter. And yeah, guys.
Talk less, smile more. Don't let them know what you're against and what you're for.
That ended up being terrible advice, by the way.
Yeah, it did. You want to get ahead? Fools who run their mouths will end up dead. Black Lives Matter.
That was quite the show exit.
Did you
Yeah,
get the reference?
He didn't. He never
You
saw
didn't
it.
get the reference?
He never saw it.
Oh damn!
He never saw it.
didn't see it. Wasn't paying attention. Didn't care.
You should see it. It's
Don't
phenomenal.
care. Didn't ask. Plus, you're black. Yeah. So later, everybody. You can follow me on the Instagrams. Sorry, the Twitters. J_Thomas_24. Black Lives Matter. And the haters in the comments. Hey, man. It is what it is.
Facts.
I look forward to
Engagement is
looking. I
engagement.
look forward to looking at your podcast. So yeah.
And just remember, we don't do this just for listeners. We do this because this shit is fun.
Right? Like this is all jokes, honestly. Like
Hey man, if you like us though, go argue with the hate comments on our YouTube videos.
fight for us.
Hey,
Fight
hey,
for your
hey,
king.
Hey.
Die for your country.
Like Bodega Boys die for the hive.
Exactly.
Oh man. All right, we'll catch y'all next week.
I got ice in my veins. Walk like a champion, champion, champion. I'm so cold-blooded, I fear nobody. Ain't no letting down, I won't let you down. 'Cause I got